Good morning. We are live and welcome to Range City this morning here. We are attempting a breakout as we speak, which is a beautiful thing. Let's see what we get. You are currently looking at the 5-minute chart here on the NQ. That's the Nasdaq futures contract. This is, of course, the December contract. And I will repeat, the 5-minute chart is what we're looking at primarily here. We'll also bounce back and forth between the 5 and the 2 and see what we can get. We're a minute 15 out from this close, and we are currently attempting to see if the bulls can break out of that opening high. Can we get a close above there is a big question here. 60 seconds, we will find out. We might be putting something on immediately. So let's see what we get. Good morning, guys. How we doing? Heads up, we have a Trump announcement at 10 o'clock. That is in 10 minutes. Okay, we're 20 seconds out. I am right off the rip. Gonna have to get copy trader engaged. And let's see, do we get a bull close out of this 5-minute chart above that opening wick high? We will not. No trade, next bar. Little hesitation out of the bulls. That's all right. All right, good morning, guys. How we doing? How are we trading thus far? I know this has been quite the range here this morning. So unless we see a breakout, which is what we were just looking for, unless we see that, I am thinking range until further notice. Roy, good morning. Brandon, how we doing? Corey, good to see you. Okay, now, if the Bears can put in a reasonable bear body, clean, closing near the low, at least half the size of this bull body, I would get short. If the bulls end up popping this higher and closing up near the high on a reasonably sized bull body, well, then we're looking to see if we can get a fill to the long side using a stop limit buy. But right now, we're thinking range. Steven, good morning. Good to see you. All right, 2 minutes, 20 seconds out. See what you can see here. We're getting a lot of hesitation out of the bulls. We got to see if they can put something together here within reason for us. That is the only scenario in which I'm all of a sudden interested in getting long. If the bulls can give us a nice pop higher, at least half the size of this bar, which would put us probably closing outside of this pre-market wick here. But we got about a minute 40 left here on this 5-minute bar, so let's see. Again, am interested in getting short and trading the range if we get a bear body. All right, a minute 7 out here. Let's see how this bull, well, I don't want to call it a bull body. Let's see how this 5-minute bar closes up. By the way, quick heads up, guys. Apex 80% off and single day pass with code BIG, B-I-G. That ends today. That deal is over today. We have no idea what's coming next. So if you want to take the safe bet, stock up. All right, Bears, let's see what you got. Man, a lot of hesitation on both sides on this bar. It's really, really representative of a range that the bulls aren't really quite accepting yet. Now, what I see here is pretty clear. This entire thing was just a brutal range, right? Brutal, brutal, brutal. The bulls finally get some headway. They come up toward the high of day, which was on the opening bar, 5-minute bar. This wick up here. We come in, we hesitate, we close beneath it on this body. The bears say, I think this is still a range, but the bulls are like, yeah, but we have all this confidence from this move. We're going to keep, and you end up with this. Now we just need to see which way does this break. And then I'm interested in, honestly, taking the trade in the direction of the push. Assuming the signal bar is reasonable, meaning not 85 points tall. So let's see here. All right, 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Come on, bulls. Let's get something done. A good, healthy push would be very, very nice. But, again, if the bears put in a bar, it's hard because we've already wicked so high now. It increases the size of the bar by so much. A bear body, and I would short it back into the range. We're just not really seeing that. Mario, good morning. How we doing? All right, halfway through this 5-minute bar, 2.5 minutes out. Ooh, bears. Bears trying to step in. I think the bears still believe in that range. That looks to be the case. And they're trying. Jeez. All right. All right, come on now, bulls. If they can. Give us a nice clean close. We're going to have to think about something here. All right, we're 30 seconds out. We have a bit of a sequence starting to potentially form. We have a nice, strong couple of bull bodies. Small, tiny bear doji. And now an attempt at a bigger bull body. If the bulls can pop this higher last minute and actually lock that in, I'm setting out a stop limit buy. I don't think we're going to get it. Bulls! Insecure. Nothing. All right, next bar. That's the story of a range day. Now again, still looking to trade the range. If the bulls end up giving up here and we get a couple of consecutive bear bodies, I would need consecutive at this point since we are trying so hard to break higher. But still, a single clean bull body closing above that previous bar's wick high for me puts me long using a stop limit buy. Okay, yeah, we got Trump making an announcement here. Oh wait, hang on. I think the announcement got delayed. I think the announcement got delayed by an hour, at least according to AP. Yeah, okay, so it originally looks like Trump's announcement was scheduled for 10 o'clock Central. And now it looks like it's going to be 11 o'clock Central, again, according to Associated Press. If this is another FIFA announcement, I'm going to be pissed. All right, I think we're cool to trade. Two minutes out. Let's see how the bulls close this baby up. Giovanni Joe, good morning, brother. How we doing? All right, 90 seconds out. All right. Come on, you bulls. Let's put something together here. Bulls, pop this baby. All right, we're 25 seconds out. I am going to have to get the copy trader engaged. Just in case we see the bulls pop this baby above that previous bar's wick high here and close it up in the next 12 seconds. Stop limit buy is out and ready. Let's see. Ooh. Like to see that. Place that guy there. See if we can get a fill. We're going to give that only 30 seconds. 30 seconds from the start of this 5-minute bar. So 20 more seconds. See if we can get a fill. If not, I do not want to participate. And if so, beauty, we'll risk the signal bar. 8 seconds. Get ready to pull it. No fill, no trade. All right, next bar. See what we can get. Me too, Joe. Man, for continuation trades, stop limits are absolutely crucial for entries on continuation trades in particular. According to the freshly coined RAM trading style. That is the wrench action method. You're damn straight. Your boy's coining it. My style, I think, is a little different from a lot of price action traders, so we'll coin that shit and move on. Continuation trades, you want that thing going in your favor. It's worked well for me, and I think it'll work well for you if you want to trade price action. So there you go. I'm not going to speak on what hasn't worked for me. If you're trading continuation trades, you want it going in your favor to give you a fill. So use a stop limit for an entry. If the wick is a bit bigger on continuation, you don't want to give up that headway, and you're willing to risk less to look for a bigger reward, you can enter with a limit on the rollover. On reversion setups, you're always entering with either a market or a limit order. And I usually target the opposing bid or offer. So if I'm looking to go short inside of a channel, I'll enter short with a limit targeting the offer. That makes sense. Gives you a little bit better price. It's going against you in a lot of cases anyway, so you're highly probable to get a fill. All right, 2 minutes, 5 seconds out. Ram emoji, baby. You know why it works? Because we're always hunting so many stops, and we're ramming the shit out of the opposing stops. This shit is thought through. That's what we trade around here, baby. $40 out. Let's go. Somebody do something a little more definitive. No fill on that last trade. We still have not popped above the previous bar's wick high. Okay. Yep, it looks like Trump's announcement. What's going on here? I think it's actually been delayed until 11 Central. AP, Associated Press, who is often one of the primary, I guess, live streamers for these Trump Oval Office events. They are now live. They're showing the external view of the White House. Nice foggy day in D.C. But I don't think he's going to be talking until 11. Or so. So I think we're good to go. For the next, 50 minutes. 45 minutes. Niles, good morning. How we doing? Good to see you. Dips and peaks. Don't get me excited over old news, man. Don't get me excited. We know FINRA passed it. Did the SEC make a comment yet? Those of you guys who don't know, FINRA recently approved the PDT rule change, changing the minimum account balance to do as you please with your money. Believe it or not, that's a rule. Crazy as fuck. 25,000 down to 2,000, which has just opened a huge world up for newer retail traders in the stock and options markets. It's now up to the SEC. We're waiting on the SEC to pass that thing. Looks like no comment from the SEC thus far, but FINRA did just approve this recently, so it's likely to take some time. Okay, about halfway through this 5-minute bar. 2 minutes, 35 seconds out. Let's see how we close up. All right, 90 seconds here. Okay, we're about 27 seconds out. Copy trader engaged. Ready to rock. 20 seconds here. Bears trying to pull this back in. We do have the 20 EMA here on the 5. I am cool with it. Looking to bet on this full-blown range. Really, it's a bet on this breakout failing. Let's see. I will get a stop limit sell. Ready? To place. Punch that there. Give it 30 seconds to give us a fill. See if we can get a fill. And if we do not get a fill in the first 30 seconds, I don't want to be a part of it. Do not want to participate. Let's see if the Bears can take it down through. 15 more seconds. See if we can get a fill. Five seconds. Get ready to pull. No fill, no trade. Not there. Not there. Can't do it. All right. Next bar here. See what we get. Three and a half minutes here. Coming in for a test potentially. About 10 points away from that 20 EMA here on the 5. Also coming into the break-even point on the day for NQ. All right, Bears. Halfway through this 5-minute bar. Let's see what the Bears can do, if anything, here. "90 seconds. All right, now the big question becomes, is it going to bounce off the 20 EMA and go higher? We can see a nice bear body push through and a nice clean close. I'm willing to bet no, it doesn't. And it continues back into the bigger overarching range. All depends on this close here. Let's see. 30 seconds out. Copy trader. We are going to have to get ready here. Okay. Bears pushing it a little deeper through the 20 EMA here on this 5-minute chart. If they can keep this clean, meaning not pull back and close here, I will put out a stop limit sell according to the wrench action method. Look to see if we can get a fill. Decent close. I'll give that about 20 seconds rather than 30. And if we do get a fill, we'll suck risk out to risk the signal bar. Bring the take profit down. Give it some room. ATR 29.5. We've got about 5 more seconds here to get a fill. Oh my goodness. You guys see that? We got a fill. Right on time. I think that might have been a headline. All right, that's all right. Setup stands. Let's go, Bears. See if we can take it through. Good. See if we can get a full ATR, approximately. Take that lower, Bears. All right, Bears, take this down through. Give us a full ATR. Backfill that range. Give us a harder push. Lots of work to do here out of the Bears. Well, let's see if they can get it done. Put it on. Most of the work here, by the way, is done on the entry. By the time we're in, you manage bar by bar if necessary. Most of the time, it's not necessarily necessary. And you accept that outcome. All right, Bears, take this baby through the cliff, huh? We've got a big old range to backfill. All right, give it up, Bulls. Give it up, Bulls. Take this through. ATR 31.5. Again, looking to get about a full ATR here out of this trade. Now you can see on the leader account versus the open P&L, we actually got better fills on the followers than we did on the leader, which is a good thing. All right, well, you know, not an inside close, but a wiki close out of the Bears. Not the greatest close we could have hoped for, but, you know, we'll take it. We'll take it. All right, Bulls, give this up. Bears take it through. Full ATR. And give it to us here. All right, Bears, more work to do. Keep that pushing. There we go. Good work, Bears. More to do. Keep that moving. Good. Keep that coming. Bit more. Full ATR. Boom. Full ATR. Punch it. Target. Locked up. Good trade. Moving on. Let's go, Drag. Finally, we got a decent trade here today. I mean, first trade of the day here on stream for me. Well, first trade of the day here in futures at all for me. But I mean, finally the market gave us something, you know? It's been range all day. Were any of you guys finding anything decent in here? It's tough. It's tough to find good stuff in here. You can trade the range, but it's harder. You know, this one got close, but it closed inside of the wick high on the opening bar. We tried here. We didn't get a fill because it never popped above, so we canceled that order. That was, honestly, for me, that was like the first real setup of the day. So I'm happy that that's my first actual trade of the day. That means we're doing well as far as following the rules, even though we're not getting as many as we'd like. It's good. Good. You got to be honest with yourself. Did you take shit you probably shouldn't have taken? The answer for me today is no, we are. Good track record. Regardless of the outcome of that last trade, we're doing our job here today, so let's keep it moving. Javaz, good to have you today, brother. All right, well, let's keep moving here. Let's keep looking. We're 3 minutes, 20 seconds out here from this, the close of this bar. And if this ends up being a bull body, I'm gonna need 2 consecutive. What do you guys think? What do you think Trump's announcement's going to be here in about 28 minutes? Is this going to be government shutdown related or what's up? We're going to find out. Rose, good work. $900 on that last trade. Yeah, I mean, we'll see if the Trump announcement affects the market. That is all we give a shit about. Listen, guys, politics are you know, they're super important. They're also really, really dramatic. They're filled with drama. That's why it's so popular to talk about it, of course, right? It's polarizing. Polarizing works on the internet. It just does. That's why, you know, media is so polarizing. The reality is, no matter, you know, as long as America stays America, which is important, and that is what should be talked about. As long as that is the case, no matter what's going on, you know, as far as who's in power, if you just focus on you and doing as well as humanly possible and being as happy as humanly possible and making yourself as good as possible in every way imaginable, just get better. Don't care what that means. You clean things up on the diet side a little bit, you got better. You stop moving stop losses, you know, you have your first 3-day streak of not moving a stop loss. Boom, you got better. Life's gonna be good for you, man, no matter who gets elected. Fuck it. Take control, take the fucking reins. It's your life, not the voters. Fuck, you're on American soil. Love it, baby. And do it to them. Whoever gets elected, who gives a fuck? Just do better. That's what's important. Make progress. You'll be really happy if you're making progress as often as possible. That's what I have found. When you're backsliding, life sucks. But even if you're kind of not at the peak, if you're not at the peak, that's okay. When the hell is everyone at the peak always? You can't be at the peak all the time. But if you're actively making progress compared to yesterday, not compared to the peak, but compared to yesterday, you're going to be really happy. Isn't that the whole fucking point? Love it. All right, we got Trump talking here, by the way, in about 25 minutes. Again, we're just going to see if it affects the market. If not, we will trade freely. But if so, we'll have to give it a second to clean up. Damn straight, Chris. Do it again today. Do it again tomorrow. Life's gonna come along and fuck your shit up. And you're gonna say, good. Good, it gives me something to get better at. It's gonna make me happier. I know it's crazy because some really bad things happen, but you really can take everything, every bad thing. Say, hey, how can I make this a good thing? I get it. Some things are really hard, but there's a silver lining everywhere. You gotta look for it. Otherwise, you're gonna be a fucking sad person. That sucks. We don't want that. Because you can find the negative in everything, too. Just pick. Two minutes, 48 seconds out here. Coming up to halfway through this 5-minute bar. Lot of indecision here coming out of the 5-minute. Well, I guess the Bulls and the Bears on all charts, but the 5-minute look is especially indecisive here currently. We'll get something else here. Looking for trade number 2 on the day. Darth, fix that. Fix that, big dog. Take everything in life and make it a good thing. It happened. It's done. Might as well spin it. $60 seconds. Let's see what we get here out of these Bears. Good work, Roy. Yep, Apex 80% ends today. Code big. 10 seconds out. Decent bear body. Now, we're going to have to see, can we get a consecutive bear body? That would be a beauty. And that would put me short for what? Can anyone tell me what that would put me short for? Someone out there knows. A whole bunch of you guys know. It's not complicated, but guess what? With a big enough sample size, it works. Can anyone tell me? Scott! I know what you meant. Stop hunting! Low a day. You guys know what's up. I don't even have to say it. All right, 4 minutes out here. Come on, Bears, put something together for us. I want a short for those low of day stops. Let's ram those bull stops, take their liquidity, put it right in our pocket, baby. Gotta love it. 3 minutes, 55 seconds out. All right, Bears, 2 minutes, 45 seconds out. Let's see. Let's see. Can they take it down through this wick low? Give us a nice clean close, like right down here would be a beautiful thing. Put out a stop limit sell, boom, get a fill, push down through, take out the low of day stop losses, the Bears cry, and we party back to the cave with blood on our fangs as happy little bears. 2 minutes. Come on, Bears, put it together for us. Wifey in the chat, say what's up. Minute 45 out. What do we get? Let's see. All right, 60 seconds. Let's see what we get. Let's pop over to the execution screen and see. "30 seconds, Bears! Put it together." Oh, do we Bears not have it in us? Come on now. I don't think so. Too much work to do before the end of this bar. We got 12 seconds. A lot can happen. Just look at the last fill. We got it last millisecond. No. All right, next bar. Next bar. Red Fox, when your wife supports your trading journey, that is the best relationship because she believes in you. I don't know if I don't think I'd be a trader if I hadn't had her for the last like damn near 10 years. It's really hard alone. I don't want to say it's too hard alone, but it's really hard alone. On the days where you really fuck up and lose a whole bunch of money, you blow all your accounts that you saved up to buy, all this bad shit's gonna happen. And listen, if you have a wife, a husband, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, any significant other who wholeheartedly, not bullshit, but wholeheartedly is like, this is going to work, go put your head down and make it happen. I will see you when it works. And they just know it's going to happen before you do. Leave the stream right now, go give him a hug and a kiss and say, fuck it, thank you. I need this. Go do it. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Okay, so remember here we have Trump. We have Trump making an announcement. Oh, we have an update here on Pfizer and drug prices. So it's like, do we even need to watch it? Probably not. Good, so we have some insight. Is that being made already, or is it happening at 11? It's being made currently. Okay. Good, so that's, I don't want to say it's out of the way, because he is still talking, but it's kind of like out of the way. We'll keep an eye on it, and keep it moving here. Good. So we are free to do as we please. 3 minutes, 15 seconds out. How you guys doing so far today? Feel free to share if you care to. It's no one's business but yours, but if you care to be like, hey, yeah, I messed up big time today, or I'm doing really well. Let's hear it. Minute 50 out. Vinny flat so far. It's all right. It's all right. Honestly, for me, there's been one opportunity all day. So, had I walked away for 5 minutes, we'd be flat right now too. Saul's positive for the day. Stu Green. CJ minus 1,400 on your funded. It's all right. Roy up 55 points. $863. Yeah. Okay, let's get this exact. Roy. Goodness. Roy, you are up 39% in points the day's range, which is very, very tremendous work. You guys know a top 1% scalper, a goal you should have, even a 1% trader, is on the average day, you make about 25%. This is a really, really high-end goal. This puts you in the top 1% of traders on the planet. You make about 25% in points of the day's overarching range. So if the range is 200 points, by the end of the day, on average, if you look back and you can make 50 points on that 200-point range day, you're doing tremendously well. You are a fantastic trader if you're doing that consistently. Roy, very good work. Up 1,500 on my one and only trade. Very good work. Ooh, requested payout Sunday night under review. It's always fun to get that approved email. Chris up 17 points. Good work. Good work. Trend force. I want to take a deep dive into price action. Any indicators that help with that? So for me, at least with trading RAM, which is the wrench action method, indicators kind of go out the window. That's kind of the point. We're trying to get rid of as many indicators as possible just to trade pure price action, because that's the source. It gives you the clearest picture. It gives you, in my opinion, the clearest image to look at and read. Indicators for me, I think of as two things. One, something that just is a heads-up data display rather than an indicator. Bottom of your screen there, that red number, that's ATR. That's the average range of a 5-minute bar based on the last 10 5-minute bars. It's expressed as points. Okay, so 29.67 is the average range of a 5-minute bar based on in points based on the last 10 5-minute bars. Those orange vertical lines at the bottom, that's just the range in points of each individual bar. And then that gold line up on the chart, I could take it or leave it. It's the 20 EMA here on the 5, self-fulfilling prophecy, very popular time frame with a very popular indicator. For me, I'm not really taking trades off of it. I will sometimes though, if it's been respected all day and we're heading into it, it might cause me to hesitate when entering a trade, which is fine. So I put it out there for that reason. Also, just so we don't get dizzy, so we kind of have a feel for where we're at. But if you ripped it off, I don't think my performance would change that much, honestly. Probably wouldn't get better, probably wouldn't get worse. All right, less than 2 minutes out here. Let's see how this bar closes up. Bo, one big eval funded. Beautiful, good work. Trend force, you gotta clean that up. Clean that up, man. Trade naked, completely in the nude. Also, you gotta get rid of your indicators. No, as few indicators on the chart as possible. All right, we're 60 seconds out, by the way, of the close on this bar. Let's see if we get a nice, decent bull body. All right, Javaz, Nico, could you share your advice on how to approach trading a newly funded take profit trader account? I trade it the same way as I always would. So, you know, for me, on let's say a 50K Apex and take profit trader, in higher volatility environments, like right now, you could kind of go either way. But when the ATR is a bit higher, like right now it's 31, I'll trade like 3 micros per 50K account. If it's a bit lower, I'll trade 5. I always say 3 to 5, and I just leave it at that. For me, that's a good balance. It's like, especially on Apex, it's good enough size to get you to a payout quickly enough, like within the 8 trading days if it's a newer account. But it's not so big that you're blowing after losing 2 trades in a row, which is ridiculous. Okay, so not an extraordinarily outside close, kind of a wiki body. So we'll keep an eye here on this next bar. 4 minutes, 45 seconds out. NBS direction. As traders, well, here, can you talk direction? I can't figure out whether we are moving up or down. Welcome to the club. Every single position I put on gets reversed instantly. Yeah, listen, NBS, just trade price action. Trade price action. We live in a fog as traders, accept that. Probability is always somewhere between 50% and 60%. Sometimes 5% of the time It might be up to 70% probability, assuming a 1-to-1 reward to risk ratio just to keep the numbers easy. But always accept that, you know, if you're putting out a trade, probability of winning that trade is probably somewhere between 52 and 65%. In almost every case, if you have edge. And price action can help you get that edge. Once you kind of see things, like you guys know what I'm looking for. I've been streaming now for like 6 months. You guys know what I'm looking for if you've been watching for even just a couple of days. It's not complicated. It's just tiresome. Like it takes mental capital to do it. You get better at making the discretionary reads over time. You see more instances of setups over time, and your discretionary decision making gets better. And it gets easier. And there becomes less friction in identifying them, which is important. Right? You want to be able to trade and not leave exhausted, because that sucks. You know, you didn't become a trader to just sit down, work, and then have to go to bed because you're so exhausted. You know, nothing, of course, like a manual labor position, but, you know, mentally it can take a toll. It gets easier over time because you're able to recognize things without quite as much brain power, so to speak, because it becomes more second nature. All right, 2 minutes out. Bo! Now passing around 50% of evals, finally look like you're on a path to a payout. Yeah, Bo, it's only a matter of time. Listen, if you're trading price action and your method in which you're approaching price action makes logical sense, you're managing risk in a way that makes logical sense, you're taking profit in a way that makes logical sense, which you guys see me trying to do every day. And then you size yourself appropriately for the prop account that you're trading. Again, in a 50K funded, maybe 3, 4, 5 micros is a great place to sit. At that point, once you're doing all those things and not making big giant mistakes like deleting your stop loss and averaging down, that's a big mistake. If you're not doing those things and you're doing the previously mentioned things, it's a matter of time until you get a payout. It just is. It's gonna happen. And then at that point, once you get a payout that you didn't get lucky on genuinely, and you look at it, you're like, I worked for this payout. This feels good. The money's in the account. Then you scale. Now it's time to scale horizontally, meaning using more accounts, not just scaling size in the one account, because then you're breaking the rule of, you know, maybe 3 to 5 micros on a 50K, which keeps you in that loop of it's a matter of time to get a payout. At that point, you're profitable. This is not complicated. It's just really hard. Well, I don't want to say it's not complicated because, you know, it's not complicated once it clicks and you've seen enough charts and you've been trading price action for long enough that it's second nature. At that point, it's not complicated. It's just not easy, you know, because we live in that fog. That's unavoidable. All right. New 5-minute bar here. Let's see what we get. Oh, these last 11 minutes, you could almost say 15, 16 minutes, kind of indecisive here out of the market, right around that 20 EMA here on the 5. So we gotta let this thing make a push one way or the other, and then we can put something on. Gonna need at least 2 consecutive bars. Three minutes out. Damn straight, Drac. We want those low-a-day stops. No setup on them yet. But, you know, the high-a-day stops could come back into play, too. The longer they sit out. It's now been a little while. It's been like an hour since that's one set in stone. So a lot of stops up there, too. More at the low of day, almost certainly. But we could stop hunt both the top and bottom of the day's range if we get a setup coming into either one, which I will happily do. Backbone setup within RAM. Christian, good morning. Good to see you. What is that push? That might wake this market up a tad. All right. So, question for you guys. I'm just curious how you're doing things lately. When you get to the point where, and I think we had this conversation recently, but we have a whole bunch of new people around, so I want to get everybody's a bigger sample size of methodology, opinion here. When you get to the point that your account, a funded account of yours, is eligible for payout, let's say it's like the minimum payout, a little more than the minimum payout, it's not quite the max payout, but you're eligible. Do you stop and take the money? Or do you keep pushing to build a bigger buffer? How do you guys approach this? Personally, I think a mix of the two is tremendous. Early on, I think you should definitely take the money. As you move on, I think you should do a little bit of both. And as you move on, I think you should still take the money sometimes, but then take a few accounts dedicated to pushing hard. Maybe size it up a little bit. Brandon says take the money and run. Niall's building buffers. Yeah, you know, I think definitely, especially if you have, because this is like everything. I don't think this way. Like everything in life, you start every business venture in a hole. Now, it's going to differ. How big is the hole? How long does it take you to get back to ground level and then start flying, meaning back in the green? You start everything in a hole. So if you're still in the hole from starting your prop trading journey, which is okay. I don't say that in a negative way, because everyone starts in a hole. You have to buy the accounts before you take payouts, correct? So if you're still in that hole, I think you should take the money and run, at least on, you know, a lot of your accounts. And then eventually you're going to look up at your spreadsheet and be like, holy shit, I'm profitable. Then it's time to start mixing in a few accounts dedicated to building buffers and a few dedicated to taking the money and running. And as you get more and more profitable and that ROI starts getting bigger and bigger and better, you can start dedicating a few more accounts to taking bigger swings, building bigger buffers. But I do think there should be an element of taking the money always. I think that makes sense. I mean, you can have up to 20 Apex accounts. Do you really need 20 that you're building buffer on? Maybe. I guess if you're going for the payout record, you probably would. But, I mean, payout record, you know. It's cool, but it's like, who really cares, honestly? We are about 30 seconds out. I am going to get the copy trader engaged and see, can we get a bear push? I just want to be ready. And a close beneath this previous bar's wick low. It does not look promising, but a close beneath 780 would have me putting out a stop limit sell to see if we can get short. A lot of work to do and not a lot of time. Rollover coming here in 5 seconds. And it's going to be a big ol' inside close, which means we move on next bar. All right, now bulls, bears, somebody do something a bit more definitive. Let's get this thing pushing. Nate, best method to beat intraday trailing to get the buffer needed. Trade smaller, Nate. Nate, I would bet my ass you're trading minis in a 50K account. Am I right? 3 minutes, 40 seconds out here. We are married to this 20 EMA thus far. I'd like to see if these bears can get a bit harder, more aggressive curl. Couple of nice consecutive bear bodies. And see if we can get a good ram setup to take out the low of day stops. We're still a far cry from that setup, but if we could get that setting up here the next bar or two, that would be tremendous. All right, ATR 27. You know, can't complain too much because ATR at 27 is actually pretty good compared to what we've seen. I know a lot of you guys don't remember because this was a long time ago, maybe 2-3 weeks ago. But ATR, there was a time on the 5-minute chart, we were seeing ATRs below 10 this time of day. So volatility was way worse than it is now. It's just, you know, even with ATR of 27, which is good, we still need, you know, a little more decisive, definitive price action. This is really wicky. And, you know, the 2-minute is not much better. Here's a 2-minute chart. 2-minute not much better right now, which means we are doing what is a big part of this job, which is do this and wait in the shadows, ready to hit it when it comes. Big ol' range. I mean, listen, you know, here, it's like range day, range day, range day, right? Can't really think anything else. Then you start thinking, breakout? No. Our one trade so far today was shorting this close using a stop limit sell, getting a fill and making that push right back into the range. Right, you gotta try to remember, you know, unless one of these closes was really definitive. I put out a stop limit buy up here, and we didn't get a fill in the first 30 seconds, which is, of course, good. Unless we got a quick push, I did not want to participate. And then I was thinking, okay, good. Likely range, range, range. And here we are pulling back right into the range. So I don't really want to think anything else until the market makes it clear that we need to be thinking something else. Because right now, we're right back in the trading range, trying to make a push, but this essentially is like the same trading range we saw earlier, just a little lower volatility. So, got to remember context on the day. That's super important. Don't just, you know, sit here all day and try to bet on breakouts until it's really clear. You know, 3 consecutive bull bodies heading up toward the stop, 2 or 3 heading up toward the stops up here, which, by the way, isn't even necessarily betting on a breakout. You're just betting on those stops getting popped through. You don't really care what happens from there. It could just turn around and fade right back into the range. You already took profit and went home. Same way to the downside. A few consecutive bear bodies looking to take out these low-a-day stops. Nice push there out of the bulls. Let's see if they can hold it. Quick reminder, by the way, 80% off single day pass at Apex Trader Funding with code BIG. B-I-G. That ends today. So I think you can always gamble on what the next deal is going to be. But I think stocking up is the safe bet. We'll hit that up. All right, bulls. 3 minutes out. Good bull body. Let's see how they close this up. Big outsized bull body. "90 seconds. Roy, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. We are looking to go stop hunting, but the market is not really cooperating with that mentality right now. Whole lot of wickbacks out of the opposing sides. All right, less than 60 seconds till the close of this 5-minute bar. Rose, would you trade one NQ contract on a 50K eval? Yeah, on an eval, 100%. On an eval, I trade multiple. 1, 2, 3. But that's not, I'm not saying that's the best way to do it if you're trying to save as much money as possible. For me, I get aggressive in the evals, not the fundeds, in the evals. I get aggressive like that because with Apex in particular, you can pass in 1 day. And opportunity cost is a big concern in my business model here. I don't want to spend 3 weeks in an eval. Right, it doesn't make mathematical sense, logical sense, financial sense. They're just too cheap at Apex to spend that much time in them once you know that you're doing well in fundeds overall. Before you know that, you should take your time in an eval to get like a really cheap attempt at finding an edge because the eval is so cheap. It's kind of a super cheap way to find that edge. Make sure you have that edge. And then once you're like, okay, I'm on the road to a payout, I'm consistent, or I'm getting payouts, shit. Then you can start to be a little more aggressive in the evals just to cut down on the other factor, which is opportunity cost, which is that's a big concern in trade and prop. Big ol' wick back here out of the bears, bringing it right back into that trading range. Big surprise. range. That's right. Guys, if you haven't yet, make sure you hit the like button so we can get to our giveaway goal for the day and give away an Apex eval, any size, maybe a take profit trader test. All right, don't go anywhere. Back in a couple minutes. Quick break. What's up? Welcome back. 4.5 minutes left here on this 5-minute bar. And we are stuck in this little range, man. This is kind of ridiculous at this point, huh? ATR is 25. But we have not had... Let's think about this for a second. We have not had an outside close without a big wick. You could make the argument that we had one here, but I would kind of still call this inside because we didn't have, it was the first bull body. It was not a sequence. We have not had an outside close without a big wick as part of a sequence since the trade we took. Which means, although we are very low on trade volume here today, we've only taken one trade thus far. We are looking for number 2. Although that's the case, I'm happy, man. I'm doing my job today. Our job is to take trades based on our plan, whether that means 15 in one day or 1 in a day. That's the job. We trade RAM around here. It's not one particular setup, it's a methodology and an approach to price action trading. You pick up on it quite quickly with the help of our great community here. Right, minute 20 out till the close here of this 5-minute bar. Let's see if we get something of interest. Still kind of married to that 20 EMA here on the 5-minute. Wealth-wise, am I wrong in looking for shorts? No one is ever wrong in looking for anything because the market probabilities 95% of the time live between 40 and 60%. So no one's ever wrong looking for anything. Now, that being said, it's kind of a bullshit answer, but that is the technically correct answer for me to give you. The real answer here is I am not looking for longs or shorts. I'm looking for price action setups that happen to be in one direction or the other. I don't care which direction it is. Really do not care at all. I do not care. Just give me something. Something that leads me to believe, yep, that has a higher probability than not of continuing that way. Or you can trade reversion, which we're not really seeing here because the range here is only about 25, 30 points wide, and the bars are very wicky. So reversion is like when I say, okay, we have 2 consecutive bodies, small body on the bottom, and then an opposing body that closes above or below the previous body's wick high or low. I know it sounds super confusing. It's the kind of setup that I explained in the video on the channel titled one of the greatest price action setups of all time, and it is one of the greatest. Three minutes. ATR is falling. You could say tanking down to 23, though 23 is still a pretty good ATR, but it's down from a bit earlier. Here we go. Come on, Bears, take it downside. Let's do it to him. All right, Bears, 2 minutes out. Good work. Let's keep that push and give us something to do here. All right, new 5-minute bar, big ol' inside close. I think this thing's gonna pick a direction and go here within a reasonable amount of time. And when it does, we will be sitting waiting for the first RAM setup to come along, and then we hit it. Looking forward to it. For now, hey, this is the job sometimes. That's part of doing the job well, by the way, is being able to do that. All right, we're halfway through this 5-minute bar. Now, question for you guys. When the market's like this, what are you doing? Do you just sit and stare at the charts? Or are you listening to music? Do you listen to a podcast? I've known all different kinds of traders. And there are some purists who do absolutely nothing and sit back in their chair and stare at the charts. I don't know if that's the way to go for most people, honestly. As long as you can pay attention, you know, benefit of the job. But if you start missing trades because you're watching a podcast, that's a fucking problem. Shuffling cards. There you go. That's I haven't heard that one before. Watch the stream. Love it. Alright, bears, trying to take this baby lower. Got about 5 seconds left till the rollover here. Okay, that's a good sign. Let's see. Can the bears take this baby down through and give us something half decent? Well, I gotta say, I'm glad none of you guys said scroll short form content. I think we have a pretty mature community here. Shuffling cards and fucking Rubik's Cubes. Gotta love it. Problem with scrolling on your phone is you'll look up 2 hours later and say, what just happened? I was in a trance and I missed 25 grand worth of trade setups. That's a problem. 4 minutes out here from the close of this 5-minute bar. Crocheting blankets. Love it. Acquired, good to have you. Halfway through this 5-minute bar, by the way, about 2 minutes 40 seconds out. Well, this day has become kind of the definition of a range day. Big breakout attempt, big old pullback right into the range. What's interesting here is we could actually draw what I would call a big overarching if we could draw that guy and then basically draw the same thing just through the breakout attempt because it failed. That's basically what we're looking at on the whole day. Which is interesting, unlikely for that exactly to hold up, of course, until the close. A lot of time left. But these range days, I'm telling you guys, if you find yourselves trying to trade a million breakouts during a day like today, that's the problem. That right there is the problem. If you're betting on a break, on every bar that looks like this, you know, every bar that starts to break out like this, chances are, hey, it's probably not going to go very far. So for me, I'm looking for really clean sequences. 2 to 3 consecutive bear bodies growing, 2 to 3 consecutive bull bodies growing, waiting for the close of each bar rather than just intra-bar. And without that, I'm thinking range, range, range. You know, me too. I gotta remind myself as much as possible, range, range, range. All right, here comes a new 5-minute bar here in 5 seconds. Joe, I'd probably say the 20 EMA on the 5-minute is a little more relevant right now. I'd agree. So many tests, it's kind of getting married to that area, but I think it's more the range than the EMA itself. I think you know, what comes first kind of thing. I think the price action comes first. The EMA has just happened to follow and plop itself right in the middle of the range now. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's all that relevant currently. When the EMA, the 20 EMA here on the 5 is a bit more relevant as a self-fulfilling prophecy is when it hasn't really been tested much, and or when it has been tested like once or twice and held on a hard trend day. That's when it becomes a little more of a self-fulfilling prophecy. When it's getting tested every, 3 minutes like it is now, it's kind of like whatever. I think it kind of just more so happens to be there. Three and a half minutes out. All right, Bears. I got my eye on you. Let's take this baby lower. 2 minutes out. I'm going to close this 5 minute and let's give us a nice clean 2 to 3 consecutive bear body sequence. Lower, lower, lower. Give us an opportunity to break what's looking like a little ascending support trend line. Break that baby. Take this price action lower. Give us a beauty of a sequence. And let's stop hunt those low of days. That's the goal. That's what we'd love to see happen right now. So that we can put on trade number 2 of the day. Oh, sometimes you just gotta talk to it. That was quite the push, huh? Good to see that. Minute 15 out. John, that big push down, that bottom tick, you're short for a 25K Apex eval pass to replace a funded you blew today. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Back in it tomorrow. Fucking right back in the game. 4 minutes, 45 seconds out. That was not a great close. That was a pretty wicky close on that last 5 minute bar out of the Bears. Not the greatest performance, but I will take it. as opposed to just continuing that little range. Now, let's see if the bears can give us another good bear body. I'm still not completely sold on this range breaking, because you look at the chart, you just zoom out, forget what's going on for a second, zoom out and look, and it's like, wait, there's a range. So I need a quite a bit harder push downside and a nice clean consecutive bear body sequence. And then all of a sudden we're going stop hunting. Then all of a sudden the hunting trip begins. How many times can someone win giveaways? No limit. No limit. I am not interested or in the business of participation trophies. You know, oh, you've already won, let's give it to someone else. Nope. If the same person is the luckiest son of a bitch in the world and they win 80 times in a row, they're getting 80 accounts in a row, baby. Equal opportunity, and then the chips land as they do. That's how we do it around here. There is zero limit. I don't care if you win 4,000 accounts. You're gonna keep getting them. Damn straight, Joe. All right, 2 minutes. We're still in this big old range. Bears trying to put this curl in play, trying to give the Bears a look. And the Bulls are coming right back in and wicking it back up, man. Minute 50 out. Let's see what either side can put together, I guess. Not really anything definitive out of either side yet, but the Bears trying to put this curl together. Let's see if they can. You Bears! Come on now, let's get something done. 35 seconds out. Get too excited, spilling everywhere. All right, rollover coming here in 5 seconds. Nothing. Four minutes out. Do the bulls take this right back up into the range, or do the bears actually give us a look out of this curl? Maybe hunt some low-a-day stops. Gotta love it. Brian, downsizing was the key. Consistently making 200 bucks a day. Trading 1 micro. Very good work, Brian. That takes a next level development of discipline. And it can pay. Come on, you bears. 3 minutes. If you guys haven't yet, man, hit like on the stream. I would really like to get to our goal so we can do a giveaway or two here today. 2 minutes. 2 minutes out from the close of this 5-minute bar. Bears looking still like they're trying to put together a bit of a look out of this curl and push. Let's see if we can get the push part. "60 seconds. Suggestions to get payouts in Apex. It's hard in funded accounts. Yes, yeah, you're right. It is hard. But I think you can make it a little easier or higher probability of occurrence that it's just a matter of time that you get to a payout. If you size down in 50K, let me just give you my approach. In 50K accounts, specifically at Apex, 3, 4, 5 micros, depending on volatility. Maybe 3 in a little higher volatility environments when ATR is like 30, 35. When ATR is a bit lower, 15 on a 5-minute chart. You can trade maybe 5 micros in a 50K per account. and then trade RAM. Or whatever, you know, in my opinion, whatever price action approach or whatever approach in general you like. At that point, it's a matter of time. You got to trade 8 days anyway for Apex to be eligible for your first payout, your first number of payouts in fundeds. Got to trade 8 days anyway. So you might as well take the consistency approach and not just trade 4 minis. I mean, come on, that's too big. John, we'll see you, brother. Have a good day. Yeah, if you get that blasted, send me a picture when you get that tatted up. At me on X. All right, 3 minutes out. All right, we're getting close to halfway through this 5-minute bar. Bears are trying. Bulls were able to put in a very small bull body, which is representative of a range market, but not the end of the world. Let's see how the Bears close this up. On X, I am at Wrench Capital. There's a blue check. So you know that's mine. Not that that means anything on X these days. All right, we're a minute 12 out here from the close. I'm gonna need one more body because this body is immediately coming after that small bull body. It's not a consecutive bear bar sequence, and this wick is killing us. There's buying pressure. I think these bulls are still like, this is a range, man. What are you doing? So we're gonna get a new 5-minute bar here in about 5 seconds. Come on, Bears. Let's put something together here. Less than 3 minutes left here on this 5-minute bar. Let's see what we end up with. All right. 2 minutes out here. 2 minutes out. I gotta see something that isn't an inside close. And it would have to look pretty specific. Just because the wick size on that previous bear body. Anthony, did you say 3 mini or micro on the 50K? For me, I think it makes the most sense in a 50K account to trade 3 to 5 micros. For me, that's what tends to work the best, especially on a newer like 50K account with like Apex, for example, and Take Profit Trader. All right, rollover coming here in 3 seconds. Looks like it's going to be an inside close. All right, guys. Well, unfortunately, we fell short of our giveaway target here today, likely because a lot of people have probably already left and went and hit the gym, went and hit the golf course because this market's a little slow today. We're going to give this another shot tomorrow. We're doing giveaways most days here. And I'll tell you what, it's time for me to hit lunch. If you have not already, please subscribe to the channel and I will be live again. Doing the same thing all over again tomorrow morning. All right, guys. Hey, have a good afternoon if you plan to trade it. If not, get out of here. Go enjoy your day while the market's kind of slow. But I'll come back, sit down in the afternoon just on my own and see. But the market's pretty slow here today. One good trade under our belt. All right, guys, be patient. Let the setup come to you. And when it does, hit it and accept the outcome, baby. All right, guys, subscribe to the channel. See you in the morning. Have a good afternoon.